Students, today will we discuss about Congreve as a dramatist. Okay? William Congreve is counted among the best and finest writers of the comedy of manners. He wrote all his comedies before he was thirsty. He was a great classical scholar and innately interested in translations. In the beginning of his literary career, he wrote a novel Incognita, the plot of which was worked out on the lines of dramatic models. Then he finished his first play, The Old Bachelor, which was extremely successful on the stage. First, introduction. Okay. His next play was The Double Dealer, which was completely more serious, and so it was not much appreciated because the fashionable people of that society were lovers of manners and fashions. Then came other play, Love for Love and The Morning Bride, a tragedy. The last was the play Way of the World. In all these plays, Congreve shows himself the supreme master of the comedy of manners, which was basically artificial and displayed the narrow world of fashion and gallantry. In 1697, he was attacked by German collier for licentious, and so he gave up writing. After giving him a proper reply, he left writing chiefly after the complete failure of his last comedy on the stage. By this time, he was a prosperous man and was holding several government posts. He enjoyed a great social reputation and had developed close friendship with the great men of literature like Swift and Poe. He was also closely related to the great and powerful political figures. Next, a pure comedy, Intrigue and Lust. His Way of the World is unanimously considered as a great work of art and a pure comedy of the Restoration dramatic literature. It is especially noteworthy as a comedy because it consists of a number of great artistic excellences like wit and sparkling dialogues. Captain Lickett has made a very proper assessment when he writes in The Way of the World. We have Congreve at his happiest. Constructions, characterization, dialogue are all like brilliant. The story scarcely matter. There is never much resemblance to real life in the plots and machinations of restoration drama. The play is not to real life in the plots and exceptions in this respect. But such scenes as a though where reputations are murdered by gossip, such characters as Millamant and Mirabelle, such flashes of wit in the talk between Mrs. Marwood and Millamant are to the fore reveal the restoration drama at its highest point. He is greatest prose comedy writer of the latter Restoration period. Like the other Restoration writers, Congreve also presented the upper class existence in his comedies. Next, and no bitterness. This note of pity and sympathy is something unique in Congreve's play. There is no bitterness or cynicism in his laughter, but it is surely amazing and enjoyable. There is also a little of mocking and rationality in his attitude towards love and marriage. In The Way of the World, we laugh at the hypocrisy of Mrs. Fainall and Mrs. Marwood. The lust of Lady Wishford and her desire to have a man is a little satirical, but here also there is a neither bitterness nor jealousy. The simple drunkard, servitful, and the foolish plant, and Witwoud are ignorant but happy-go-lucky characters. They simply make us laugh, and we enjoy their folly and stupidity to the full, so much that in the Gavel nights, where no man is allowed to, no woman objects to their presence. Okay. Next, a marriage and love mood. Congreve did not care to paint the life of common day in his comedies. It was a life of gallantry and pleasure which had a code and speech of its own. He never cared for seeing things that forced him to entertain low thoughts of his nature. Congreve did not see life as a whole. His sympathy was for the persons of quality. He lived in a world situated on the confines of cynicism and merriment. If he had come to realism, his comedies would have been open the reproach. For the scenes in which the Mirabelles and Laments play their part is, like the name, fantastic. It can be said that although Congreve inevitably deals with the relationship between the sexes in his own society, he satirized false relationships both in the outside marriage based on religion and respect, although without any religious sanctions, to admit the existence of adultery at a time when divorce was difficult, and to recognize that love and marriage do not always coincide, was the acceptance not of a literary convention but of one of the facts of life. And perhaps our society is not enlightened or so inclined to accept a sacramental view of marriage that we can afford to dismiss Congreve's dating for life as totally irrelevant to our situation. Congreve's popes, gallantines, and ladies of fashion are finally executed with an air of destination that places them much above Ethers and White. Vicale, his Mirabelle, Millamant, and Lady Wishford are supreme creation of wit according to Dovry. His intellectual fastidiousness made him lot to portray fools so gross that they should rather disturb than divert the well-natured and reflecting part of audience. Next, wit and dialogues. Congreve's excellence lies in his wit and dialogues. He was an artist and took special care in perfecting his dialogues and making his prose style with wit and flashes of intellectual brilliance. In this way of the world, there is a faith of intellectual and witty dialogues. His wit is a Machiavellian dialogues which run through the entire comedy. His dialogues provides artistic delight and his style is equally admirable. Hazlitt has rightly commented, Congreve's style is imitable, may perfect. It is the highest model of comic dialogue. Every sentence is replete with sense and satire conveyed in the most polished and pointed terms. His sentences are close knit and balanced. In point and brevity, his style seems to be unmatched. There is not a word too much, not an epithet that is superfluous. It is a language that appeals to the ear than to the eye. With its varied rhythm and cadence, it is a poetry that seems to be studiously using liquid and vowel sounds. Congreve's phrasing is nice, often surprisingly beautiful. His scenes are one instant flash and sparkle of the finest repartee. One dazzling rapier thrust of wit and satiric pleasantry succeeds another without interruptions, and the wit which is always the case in the highest examples is allied to shrewd sense and acute observation. Bhul. Congreve was an original writer who borrowed neither the models of his plot nor the manner of his dialogues. He formed a peculiar ideas of comic excellence which is supposed in consist in gay remarks and unexpected answers. His style is suffused with subtle irony. There is subdued tone of light in his dialogue, touched of wit. His plays are turned of light, gay and airy. Unit Congreve skillfully use English prose in all its variety, richness and amplitude so that he may adapt it to the character and temperament of each speaker in the play. Congreve has made a very balanced assessment of his greatness. Congreve is undoubtedly the greatest of Restoration comedy writers in his work. The Comedy of Manners reached perfection. His plays are a faithful reflections of the upper class life of his day. In all things, he is a polished artist whose distinctive quality is brilliance. In spite of reflecting the contemporary upper class life, the immortality has been saved from being objectionable by wit, and so there is lack of total realism. As Albert says, the tone is one of cynical vivacity. The characters all well drawn, and Congreve's prose is lucid, concise, and pointed.